We are very excited to welcome David Diamond of Headlines Theatre from Vancouver here again as part of This Is My City. David joined us last year as part of the This Is My City Symposium, which launched the This Is My City program in 2009, and we're excited that he's back to help bookend the final events of This Is My City 2010. The piece you are about to see, Power Play Homelessness, is presented by the City of Calgary Arts and Culture and One Yellow Rabbit Theatre Company as part of the High Performance Rodeo. The event is also made possible through the generous support of the Glenbow and the F4 Centre for the Performing Arts. The piece is about 2 hours long with no intermission. And please take this time to turn off cell phones and pagers and Blackberries and crush the noisy candies in your pockets. No noisy candies? No? Okay, great. Without further ado, I present to you David Diamond.
Okay, hello everybody, I'm David, and very nice to see all of you here. I know there's a lot of competition for your attention this evening, so it's great that you're here. Before we do anything, I'd like the workshop group to introduce themselves to you. I'll start over here, please.
I'm Matt. I'm Scott.
James.
Aubrey.
Denalda.
John. Norm.
Chastity.
Jason.
Shannon.
My name is Nigel.
Sherry. I'm Ziggy.
And Hannah. Demi.
Okay, a power play is what I call a 6-day workshop that goes to performance. These folks, some of them, we met 6 days ago. Some of them knew each other, many of them had never met before. We spent the last 6 days, 8 hours a day, using different theater games and exercises to investigate issues of homelessness inside these people's lives. It's really important that you know that they're all playing characters though here tonight. Nobody's playing themselves, even though these plays grow out of lived experience. They're all playing characters. Now this is also forum theater. I'm just curious, how many of you have been to an interactive forum theater event before? Can I see some hands? Okay, so maybe 20 of you. How many of you think you're here to see like a normal kind of play this evening? Can I see some hands? A whole bunch of you aren't putting up your hands. Are you not putting up your hands because if you do, you think I'm going to ask you to do something? Put up your hands. That's not going to happen here tonight. It's against the rules. But it is interactive theater. What happens in forum theater is this. The plays will build to a crisis and they'll stop, offer no solutions. It's as if the play turns around and says, we have this real problem and we really don't know what to do. What do we do? And so after the play, we go into a kind of a dialogue, but not a sitting in your seat talking dialogue. A dialogue of action that tries to answer some of the questions that are asked inside the plays, solve some of the problems that are presented inside the plays. That's what we're here to do tonight. Okay? Aviva made a request about cell phones and stuff. I will also make a request about photography. Please, folks, I understand the impulse, but no photography, please, during the event. It's very distracting. Okay? Can we have places for the first play, please?
I'm sorry. You're skinnier than us. Yeah, it's okay.
So we're going to start the first piece. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long. I'm going to ask you to watch it through a certain kind of eye. To keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts open to the struggles that the characters are engaged in. And to think of ways that they might, or that, no, folks, I'm sorry, these seats here are reserved for, pardon me. As you watch the play, to watch it through a certain kind of eye. To keep your eyes, your ears, your hearts open for the struggles that the characters are engaged in. And to think of ways that they might, or that you might, on their behalf, deal with the situations here differently to create safety inside this world. We'll show you this piece, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you a little bit more about how it is we're going to use the theater to have this conversation in here tonight. So for those of you who know Forum Theater, please don't yell stop right now. Just watch the play, okay? Okay, we'll just wait for these folks to get settled. Could we dim the house lights, please? And here's the play.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Georgie, how you doing?
It's Georgette, the same name I've had
Yeah,
past 2
Georgie.
weeks since I've been working with you.
Okay, Georgie. Well, I got something for you to do today, Georgie.
Oh, good.
But it doesn't really involve this. Could you give me a copy?
Excuse me?
A cup of coffee, you know, like, I'm really working hard at this.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry I'm late. Are you okay?
No! He grabbed me by both my wrists and threw me out of the apartment.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna find you another place, but I can't do it today. Let's go in the shelter and see if they have a bed for.
I've never been in a shelter before. I don't want to go to the shelter.
I understand. Couple nights. I just can't look for another place for you today. Let's just see. I used to work with this guy. He's grumpy, but we'll see what.
Good girl. Hi, Linda. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Nice to see you.
Excuse me, can I check the bag?
Oh, you know what, Georgette, this really isn't necessary. No, I've been working with him so long time. He's actually,
Ah, shelter's prodigal son.
he's okay. I'll be over in the car. So, where were we?
I need a place to stay tonight.
Oh,
I don't have any place to stay.
One of the things that they make me do here to keep our clients safe is to check your bag. That's why I must.
You didn't check his bag.
Yeah, I know, but we've known each other for a long time. Years. Don't worry about him. I'm just worried about you. I don't
This
know
was
you.
a gift.
I
It's
don't
got
know you
sentimental
from
It's
value.
just
Steve.
procedure.
And guys shouldn't be checking girls' purses anyway.
Can we just have the bag?
Hey, it can be a little easier with my stuff. You're gonna break something.
What's this?
That's a nail file.
Yeah, right. Looks kind of like a weapon to me.
It's a nail file.
Looks pretty dangerous to me.
I use it to file my
You
nails
know
so I
what?
don't catch them
just
on my
remembered-
nylons.
I just remembered that we're full tonight anyway.
We're gonna go
Why
somewhere.
did you check that bag?
Hey,
Tonight.
who's been here for 10 years and who's been here for 2 weeks? You wouldn't even know how to look at this, okay?
We'll go somewhere else. We'll go
You
somewhere.
know what, sweetie,
Whatever.
take this pamphlet, there's some women's shelters in there, please call them.
Hey.
Oh my
God, I'm
goodness,
so
how
glad to
are
see you.
you?
Horrible.
Wait, okay, I'm supposed to be helping me. I'm sorry, I just need to talk to him for 1 second, okay? 1 second. I'll be right with you. What?
My roommates fucked off on me over the weekend.
Oh, no. You are not here to get a bed.
I don't have a choice.
No, Jeff, we have been through this over and over
Hey,
and
you guys
over
want to
again.
keep it down? We're trying to, provide an
Sorry.
I didn't even pick my roommates. You're the one who picked them out
No,
for
okay,
me.
no, Jeff, this is about you.
How is it about
No,
me?
this is about you and taking responsibility
What
for your
about you
life.
taking responsibility for your job and
no,
helping
no,
people out?
Jeff, no.
But whatever. I just need to try and get a place. Hi, I just need a place to stay for a couple of nights.
Yeah, well, yeah, I need to check your pockets because.
I thought you said you were full.
Well,
You
look,
said you were full.
I meant that the women's side was full tonight.
I'm
Linda!
gonna be back.
Like you're helping anyone anyways.
I'm gonna be back.
Linda!
Pockets, he said?
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
check your pockets, man.
Sure. Yeah, that's my pockets.
What's that?
It's a gum wrapper.
It's like a
it's
bubble
little
gum
bit of
wrapper.
garbage. I chew gum.
First place, not one. And the second place, it's just called flap. You ever
A
seen
what?
this before?
Smells like a spearmint bubblegum wrapper to me.
Well, it's called a flap. this is what you guys use to put your little bits of drug in there. You fold it like this here, right? I seen this, I see it. I know. Come on, what? What you talking about? Whatever. Come on, don't try and.
So you're not letting me in because I chew gum?
No,
You
can.
is there a policy here, ma'am,
No,
against
there's
chewing
no
gum?
policy against
Yeah,
chewing
yeah.
gum.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's cold. I don't even have a jacket, and you're not letting me in shelter because I chew gum.
That's right. That's pretty much it.
I got no place else to go.
You know, I don't care.
I got no place else to go.
And that's the end of that play. Okay, so I have some questions for you. Thank you for the house lights going back on. I'm interested to know how many of you in this room, either through your own personal lives or through the lives of loved ones, are connected somehow to issues inside this piece you just saw. Can I see some hands, please? Yeah, I'd say about 50% of the room's hands just went up. For those of you who didn't put your hands up, we are very happy you're here. Here's the thing. I've been working on homelessness issues in Vancouver for close to a year, and now this year. And there's something I've learned doing that, to be honest with you, I didn't understand a while back. That there isn't a single person in this country that isn't affected somehow by the homelessness issue, whether we know it or not. It affects every single one of us. And so as we work through this forum theater event, we want to please all of your creativity, all of it. Because the solutions inside these plays, of course we want to hear from the people who are living the issues. It's one of the reasons we're here. But those of you who have creative ideas, who may not feel connected to the issues, don't let that stop you in here. Because by rehearsing in here means you can break that sense of disconnection out there. That's the task. That's one of the ways we solve this issue, is by understanding there is no them. There is only us here. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to perform this play again. This second time, if you understand the struggles that the characters are engaged in, and you have an idea about how to create safety inside this world, we want you to yell, stop! Wave your hands in the air, yell, whatever it takes to get my attention. The action here is going to stop. You're going to come out of the audience area, here, into the playing area, take the place of the character whose struggle it is you understand, and try your idea. The other actors are going to improvise with you in character, and we'll see what happens. Now, there are some things about this invitation. This isn't a test here tonight. Often we have the deepest insights from ideas that come onto the stage that don't solve the problem, because we can also learn what not to do in a situation. Now, whatever you do, give somebody else an idea, and that gives somebody else an idea. And in that way, we get to go deeper and deeper into an investigation of these issues. Now, in the workshop, we did games and exercises and stuff every day, some of them to warm us up. I want to do something with you here right now, just to clear the air a bit, take us back to the beginning of this play. The workshop participants don't know this is coming. I'm going to ask everybody in the room, please, to do this. You can do it in your seats. It's real simple. Bear with me, please. I'm the guy from out of town. With your right hand, folks, please, make an X in the air. Everybody in the room, please, doing this. Good. And with your left hand, at the same time, make an O. You look spectacular. Okay, stop. I'm just curious, can anybody do this? Very talented two women here. I'm going to expect to see you on the stage. Okay, second and last thing. If you're right-handed, use your right side. If you're left-handed, use your left side. With whichever side, please make an O. And with your same side foot, you're not too close to this. With your same side foot, either print or write your name in the language of your choice. Warmed up. Okay? Could we have places for the beginning of the play again, please? If you understand the struggles, the characters you're engaging, if you have an idea about how to create safety inside this world, yell stop. The action's going to stop. You're going to come, replace the character who's struggling as you understand, and try to do that. Now, before we start, I want to be very clear about what I'm asking of you. I'm asking you to replace characters who you believe are struggling somehow with issues surrounding the issue of homelessness. That's a lot of territory, of course. I am not asking you to replace characters who you think are creating the problem in any given moment, and just turn that character into a nicer person or a more balanced individual and solve the problem through some magic. That's not where the investigation is here tonight. An example of what I mean by magic. Let's say we were doing a play on addiction, on alcohol addiction. If you decided to replace a character who was inside alcohol addiction, that character would not all of a sudden not be interested in alcohol. That would be magic. That same thing goes for the situations people are in, the character traits they carry, the lives that have taken them to the place they are right now in this life. The request is to enter the lives of our characters and work from there. Change can happen from there. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay? So, from the beginning of the play, please, if you understand the struggles the characters are engaged in, yell, stop, come, try right here. Here we go.
Hey Ben, how's the day going?
Hey, Georgie.
It's
How you doing?
Georgette.
Oh,
Same
oh,
name
oh,
I've had the
yeah,
past
yeah,
2 weeks
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
working
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah, okay, great. Anyway, I got something here I want you to do.
Oh, good.
Oh, just a quick thing to do with this. It's, did you get the copy?
Excuse me?
Well, you know, I'm working hard here.
Stop.
Stop. That didn't take long. I don't know where that came from, but come, please. Something I forgot to mention off the top, because it doesn't always happen. You probably saw there's a video camera here. This is why I'm saying this now. I forgot earlier. If for whatever reason you do not want to be taped making an intervention, you have a right to say so. I really mean that. If you want to come up and do something and you don't want to be taped, say so. That camera will go off for the period of time you're here. Understood? Okay. You okay with the camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you replace?
Georgette.
Okay, intervention. Replace Georgette. And where do you want to go from?
The coffee.
So I've got something here for you to do, but it just doesn't involve this. Actually, right now, could you get
Oh, hey, well, you know, I was here to relieve you, so why don't you go take a break?
No, actually, no, I really do have
Oh,
stuff
come on,
to
you've
do.
been working so hard all day.
Yeah,
I'm here
that's
for
really-
you.
it's
That's
really-
why they hired me, you know?
it's
Give
really
me a
kind
little
of
break
you.
now and then.
Kind of you,
It's just 5 minutes. I'll take care of this. There's nobody here even.
You're so sweet.
Seriously, I've been here for 2 weeks. And,
You know the
and
guy
you
that
told me
runs
to-
this place,
Yeah,
don't
you
you?
sent me
Yeah,
down here
so, yeah,
and
never
told me
mind.
to relieve you.
No, we didn't. Second week on the job, he comes down, checks on me, sees you here and not me. You know what? It's me that'll be
But I
gone.
passed
not
the
you.
14 days. This is
stay
Yeah,
15.
no, it's okay,
I'm good.
Georgette. Just, I'm really working hard here.
Well,
Getting
seriously,
my
get a break.
Just,
Take a break.
just go.
My job is to help you.
Freeze. No, don't look at me. I think look back at her, please. You can do this. It's something we did in the workshop, but I'm certain you can do this. Keep looking at him, please. Don't stop. I'm going to come and touch you. When I touch you, I want you to speak your secret thought. The thing that you're really thinking deep inside right now, but would never say out loud. Decide what it is, commit to it. Don't change it when you hear the other person's, okay? Here we go.
Why can't the bitch just go and
Happy old coot.
Oh, man.
John.
Behave yourself. Okay, Dawn. You come up to try to create some safety for Georgette. You know, we talked about this a bit this afternoon. How do we create safety in the shelter itself for the people using the shelter if it's an unsafe workplace? How do we do that? And I know you get that, or you wouldn't be here. Are you getting what you want for her up here?
No.
Why not?
He doesn't want to let me have any control.
I don't believe that the world is made up of good guys and bad guys. I think people do things for their own legitimate reasons. Their own legitimate reasons. Why is it so hard for you to make the space for her?
Well, because, I mean, it's my authority to be at the front. It's my authority to be at the front window and greet people and stuff. I don't want anybody infringing on it.
Is it, if I'm wrong, let me know, but is it fair for me to say, you know, I'm getting to know these characters in a way, because it's a short time period, that he is deep, his own identity is very deeply invested in doing this. He's been here for a very long time. That's fair, yeah? It's hard for him to make this space. And so a question comes up out of this, because of course she has to start doing this. Of course she does. What do we do? You know, how do we help this guy calm down enough, feel secure enough to create the space to let her in? I'm wondering, in one sentence or less, please, if anybody has a suggestion about that. Yes?
Compromise.
Compromise somehow, yes.
Give her a real job.
Well, he has to calm down enough to do that, but give her a real job. One or two more. Yes.
She could ask him, can you teach me how to do...
She could treat him like a mentor and ask him to teach
ask
her.
him
Last
to
one.
teach.
You should let go a little bit, give her some space to improve.
He needs to find his own way and let go a little bit. I'm going to have to move on. I'm sorry. We get to doodles because you don't stop. Is there anything you want to say before you go? Thank you very much. We are on our way in. Yes? Here we go.
Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. Are you okay?
No, he grabbed me by my wrist and threw me out of the apartment.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. We need to go here. I can't get you another place tonight, but if we stay at the shelter a couple nights,
I've never been in a shelter. I don't want to go to a shelter.
I understand that I can't get you another place today. We need to go here. I know this guy. I'm going to see if they have a bed. Okay?
Okay.
Couple nights. Couple nights.
Ah, good girl. Georgette.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you? Good. Good. Nice to see you.
Hey, Steve, can I take a bag?
Oh. Georgette, this is necessary.
Volume, please.
We know this fellow pretty well, okay? And I've been working with him a lot anyway, so don't worry about it.
Shelter's prodigal
Just
son.
have a seat there, Steve. I'll be down by. So, okay. Where were we?
I need a place to stay tonight. I don't have anywhere to stay.
Well, one of the things
voice up there. I can't see you too well. Oh, here, sorry. You're a ventriloquist. Who would you replace?
Georgette again.
Okay. Easy night for her. Don't call it. Where do you want to go from?
From when he comes in.
From when he comes in the door. So before the bag check.
No, as he's saying it's okay, we don't need to do it.
Okay, so we're in the middle of the trying to check his bag.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's over here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna check it back.
So it's possible.
Oh, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I know quite well, and I've been
Well,
working
it's
with
not
him.
really fair if you don't check his bag.
Yeah, that's
You have to
right.
check somebody
Well,
else.
you know, actually, we don't have time to check it.
Ben, I'm not doing anything right now. I think it's
Yeah,
good about
you
this
know,
here.
yeah,
It's okay,
yeah,
Steve.
no.
I'm just gonna do a quick look. Ben?
Look! It's all right. It's okay.
Well, how about you deal with it? Okay, stop.
Oh, sorry, just 1 second. What happens now? Just play the scene. What happens now?
Well, how about you talk to Steve, then I'll deal with the next time. Why don't you take some time to chat with him, and I'll deal with it.
My God, freak people.
Well,
The
it's
boss
my job
comes
to
down,
check the
sees
bag.
me,
So
Lynn,
I'm
you
gonna
do
check
that.
Steve's bag.
No.
Who would you have replaced in that moment?
John.
Let me ask you something. Do you understand the struggle that he's engaged in?
Yeah.
Come. And I believe you need this chance because that's when you yelled stop.
Yes.
Where do you want to go from?
Right here, where there's like that little tug of war.
Oh, in the bag. So we need Steve in the bag.
Okay, so John was just in the process of saying, no, it's fine to go.
Yeah, okay, that's where we are.
Actually, you know what?
I'm sorry, before you start, so be Miss Georgette.
Yes.
The one you're giving us, yes? Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna check your
Yeah.
bag, so you know. Actually, you know what? That's probably a better idea. Just to be consistent for the rest of the people that have come through, it's better to, you know, check his bag. And maybe we can have a cup of coffee later on when I see you. Which actually reminds me. I need a break.
So, I have a question for Steve. How do you feel about this John?
Yeah, I could probably feel about that,
Does that, I'm trying to Which is your favorite John? Yeah, I do, yeah. What are they going to find anything in that bag that's going to be a problem? I think they're going to find crap in that bag, my friend. So, we're going to start here. What's your name? Syrah. Syrah, you come up to replace Georgette. She's going to give you, this one's going to give you a hard time. Yeah. So let me ask you something. Okay, just face that way. I don't know if you saw what happened, started to happen here, but he started to spin around. Who saw that? Physically spin around. You're in trouble.
Yes.
So there was
I'm used to resistance.
because of course she feels her job is at stake.
Yeah.
How many of you understand her dilemma? Yeah. But something's happening here, something is crumbling. Is that fair to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes my job is to ask obvious questions. What do you want from her?
Well, I just want some respect from him, either a job or let me do the regular routine checking.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting for me, I see this a lot. Are you coming up here to make this whole place safer or her work safer?
Well, by checking his bag, I'd be making the whole place safe.
Yeah. But the impulse, correct me if I'm wrong, is for her, or you wouldn't replace her.
Yeah.
And we never know what we do. If she makes this situation better for herself, the result is this whole place becomes a safer place for everybody. You know? We see it happening. We have two very distinct Johns on the stage. I have a question.
Yeah.
Because our John doesn't do what you do.
That's okay.
So, you know, that's okay with me. This John woke up this morning able to break through something in himself that he doesn't normally break through in order for him to do what you did. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did he have to conquer inside himself?
The fear of letting go of his authority. So, yes, there is this clinging to my job, my role, and I guess in the place of authority, you do have the ability to exercise authority over a group of people, especially if that person perceives, like if I perceive that I have it all together, then I'm in a better place to lead or have authority, which is not always true.
Yeah.
And then I can, you know, if I wake up today and think, you know, I don't have all the answers, maybe my 2-week trainee has a different perspective or a different take on things.
Yeah.
If I let go, then I can take a coffee break and maybe have a different perspective, and then that person will.
And in the end, him doing this is also making this larger place a safer place, not just for the employees, but for everybody here. Not maybe for him, but but in the end. So, is there anything you want to say before you go?
No.
Anything you want to say before you go? Thank you very much. Just so you know, we have 3 plays here tonight. This is the longest one, so it'll take the most time, but I have to move on. We're going to be very pressed for time. So I know people have things to say, but part of my job tonight is going to be to keep us moving through, or we're going to be here till 11 or 12 o'clock, and I know you don't want to do that. But some of you don't want to do it. So we're moving on. We are, he's in. We're going to check your bag. Okay, here we go.
So what's up then?
Why didn't you check his bag?
Well, because he's a friend.
Sorry, I jumped the back. Let's go back to what's up.
What's that?
I need a place to stay. I don't have any place to stay tonight.
It's okay, Susie. All I need to do, they make me check your bag so that.
Why
Can I
didn't
see
you
your
check
bag?
his bag then? This was a gift to me. It's got a lot of sentimental value.
It's just procedure.
A man shouldn't look at a woman's purse anyway. I'll let her see my bag. Leave my bag alone. Hey, take it easy with my stuff. Hey, stop.
Stop. Come. I forgot to ask the others about the camera. I'm just not used to it. Is the camera okay? Who would you replace?
I have the guts to get up here.
Who would you replace?
I'll replace John.
And I have a question for you. Do you understand the struggle that he's engaged in?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's all I need to know.
I think that
So John, you're on here? Where do you want to go from?
from your purse, when you. Okay, Susie? Okay, I'm John.
Hi.
And it's my job here every night to check in everybody who's coming in. It's my responsibility to make sure that the building is safe, that everybody's safe. So there are things we need to do to make sure that you, if you stay in our building, is safe and that everybody else is safe. Would you mind if I look at you first?
Why didn't you check his bag?
Because, you know, I know this guy for so many years, and he hasn't caused a problem ever in the shelter. And you know, when somebody's here long term, we learn to trust each other. And it's not that I don't trust you, but this is your first time here. And we just need to make sure that the person who comes in after you keeps everybody else safe as well.
Okay.
That be
This is
okay
a
if I
gift,
just.
and it has a lot of set of mental values, so I need you guys to take care of it.
We'll do that.
And Amanda,
And you know what,
Chairman's
I'm going
first.
to ask Georgette here,
Okay.
would you feel more comfortable if you had a lady look through it?
Yes, please.
Then we'll have Georgette look through it.
Could you be a little
Now,
careful?
be very gentle. Because you know, it really is my job to make sure that everybody, that I know everybody who's in the building. And she's new, so I'm trying to teach her.
Okay.
And thank you for helping me to teach her how to do a really good job. And thank you, Georgette, for being willing to do.
Wait, very good.
And
No, she didn't, it didn't come up.
oh, it didn't come up. Okay.
That's right. Come on.
That just came up. So, actually, just to be clear about something, is she getting in now?
As far as I'm concerned, until we do the nail thing. But
Okay,
yes.
well, I got news for
No,
you.
because Georgette looked through her purse.
Yes, and the nail file thing didn't come up.
But did you
So-
find a nail file?
Yes, she did.
So, Susie, can I speak to you about the nail
No,
file?
no, that's
Oh,
over.
That's
Let's come up and talk about this just for a second. Again, we have two distinct John, what's the character's name?
John, Ben.
Ben. Yes, I know, it's because I'm losing my mind. We have two distinct Bens here, again, but that's okay, because you say you understand his struggle. What is that?
I understand Ben's struggle to be a struggle of fear and a struggle of needing to let go. And that if I and Ben let go, my values come down,
Okay, and so
or less.
having overcome that fear, you hand this over to Georgette.
But I'm still in control.
Oh, yeah, well, okay,
I as Ben,
yes,
think I'm in control.
yes. Because Georgette goes through the bag, she finds the nail file, the contentious nail file, and what did you do?
I was ignored though, I don't hold the nail.
Because you don't, she doesn't think it's a problem. She doesn't, in the scene we see it, she doesn't think it's the problem that Ben thinks it is. And so the nail file doesn't come up. How many of you in this room understand that what is happening here at this table is real? How many of you know that it's true? Okay, 70 or 80% of the room. Those of you who don't know need to understand how difficult it can be over something that seems random. And how much it sits inside the power of a person or a person. He thinks it's a problem. She doesn't. She's not going to get in. She is going to get in. Is this going to come up between the two of you? Probably not, because you don't know.
I don't know about the nail file.
Anything you want to say before you go?
I think the only thing I would want to say is the value of every human being in front of us, regardless of their authority over us or our authority over them.
Right.
And it's about valuing the person in front of us.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, the thing that's in my head right now is, if he conquers that fear and does let go, he has to be prepared for the world to change.
And he has to be prepared for the best to come his way.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Because Georgette would probably get him a coffee.
At that point, not a subservient coffee, but a collegial coffee. Okay, in the interest of time, we've done the nail file now. We've got to, you're on your way out, and you're on your way in, okay?
Excuse me, sweetie, if you want to take this pamphlet, it's got a list of women's shelters, please go on.
We're full anyway. Yeah, but who's been here 2 years? Who's been here 2 weeks? You would know how to.
Oh my goodness, how are you?
Oh, I feel
Hey,
awful.
you're supposed to be helping me.
I'll be 1 second. I haven't seen him. I've been trying to find him. 1 second.
I know. It's My roommates fucked off on me over the weekend.
What do you mean your roommates fucked off on you?
They just took my rent money and they left.
Oh, for God. Jeff, this cannot, you are not here to
You
get
guys want
back.
to keep the noise down just a wee bit, where we got people trying to rest here?
This cannot keep happening again and again and
Well, I'm
again.
sorry, but you're the one who's finding me the roommates that already have 14 days notice, that are already doing all this stuff. You're the one.
No,
How is it my fault?
I am not taking, you need to take
So it's
responsibility.
my fault my roommates fucked off on me?
You need to take responsibility.
What about your
No,
responsibility?
no.
Your responsibility to your job. Whatever. Look, I just need to get a place for a
Yeah,
couple
man. So what I need to do is
I
check
thought
this
you
out.
said you were full.
Well,
He said you were full.
I meant that the woman's
Stop.
side was full.
Don't know where that came from. Come. Camera's okay? Who would you replace?
Right.
Linda. And where do you want to go from?
From when he says that his
From the roommates fucked off, and I'm going to ask that. It's very appropriate that it's heavy. I want you to wear it. Yes, because it is the burden she carries. Do you understand why I've done it? Yes. Here we go.
My roommates just, they
Wait,
fucked off.
you were supposed to be helping me.
Can we wait just one moment and I'll be right with you, I promise. Is that okay? You can stay here and it's safe here. Just don't
Yeah,
go.
please. Yeah, my roommates they just fucked off on me over the weekend.
Oh no, well I've been looking for you. I've been wondering what's up. So do you know what are your options?
Well, right now this place is my only option. I gotta try pathways to housing again. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you work hard, but this is bad for me. I mean, they just took my rent money and
You
left.
guys want to keep it down over there?
Thanks.
Sorry.
It's a really bad time right now for me. I'm concentrating on somebody else. But I just
I
want to
see
know
that.
if you have any other options you can think of before you have to end up going back together.
Unfortunately, I don't have any other options. I can't get a hold of any of my other friends. I can't get a hold of my parents. Most of my friends are actually still in the shelter.
Do you have, if you have to stay here for a couple nights, do you have a plan that you can work on so you don't end up back here?
Well, after the weekend, I'm gonna go back to Pathways to Housing again and see if they have any other options. You know, I mean, they tend to not fall through as you've seen, but
Yeah.
if I keep trying, it will hopefully work a bit better.
Okay, well, so how about on Monday, you have my phone number, I'll keep my phone on,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, sure.
phone me,
Yeah, thank you.
and
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you the call Monday. Thank you
and
so
phone
much.
Pathways right away.
Yeah,
Don't forget about it.
absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's stop. Yeah, let's stop. What's your name? You can take the burden off. You want something for this, or you wouldn't be replacing her. Are you getting what you want?
I think I am for this moment. The biggest thing I saw that I wanted was to give this character some, so he's so vulnerable to the situation. So he can, even though the situation right now sucks, and he might have a couple days that suck, he can try and think about his other options to work towards.
Okay. I understand and appreciate your desire for him. I'm asking about your desire for you.
Probably that I'm overworked and that there's people demanding my time all the time. So probably the hardest is trying to coordinate that. But by maybe making or helping people to get success in this situation that
I have a question. I'm a imagining, and again, if this isn't true, tell me, that because of this, you're walking into here in a much calmer state.
Yes, I'm feeling much better. I'm responding better to everything. Like I said, I'm more confident overall, and I'm happier overall. I'm not going to the situation grumpy and already frustrated like I did when we did the play initially.
Because you see, having directed the play, there's something I know. There is room here. And one of the things that happens, gum wrapper aside, is that this guy ticks him off. And a wall goes up. And if he walks in here in this calmer state, that may or may not happen. We actually don't know what's going to happen. But it's possible, more likely than in our play, he's going to get in here tonight. Fair?
Yeah, I'll look.
Fair. Folks, you can't, there's no way for us to reverse this. We're just discovering this as we go. I don't think you can see that far ahead. Do you know what I mean? You don't come here for that. Well, you don't know he's going to end up getting in. We never know what we do. Yes, the anger was diffused. We never know what we do. This exchange down here, and I'm going to interpret that this is about her also taking care of herself. You said this yourself. She's overworked. How do I breathe? How do I calm down? That's what serves him. You know? Oh, is that fair? Yeah. Lets him walk in here and actually get shelter to it. Anything you want to say before you go?
No. It was scary enough.
We're going to take, in a sentence or less, please, if you can.
I don't think she accurately represented the stress that this initial character carried with her.
Okay.
And that's the transfer that goes into this character that carries on a different factor.
Okay.
I think she only came up with a simple solution. One small part of her character.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but in this world here, everything has symbolism for me. So while I understand what you're saying, I also think there are things that we can take from what she did here and apply. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I have to move on because we're already late. Jordan.
So, what do I need to do to get in here?
Well, you have to check your pockets. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, all those.
What's that lady?
Please don't. Yeah, let's do our play, please.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's okay.
Why not? The gun wrapper.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
That never happened.
Well, what the hell's this? It's not a bubble gum wrapper. It's a flap.
A what?
A flap.
It smells like a spearmint bubblegum wrapper to me.
Well, here's what it really is. It's where you guys put your little pieces of cocaine and stuff.
What?
And you wrap it up like that.
Like,
you know
like
what
he was doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't let you.
Because of a gum wrapper?
Yeah, well.
So look, it's cold outside.
Is that a stop? Who would you replace? This guy here? Camera's okay?
Yep. Before or after?
Okay, so we've gone through the gum wrapper. Nice and loud, please, so people can. Here we go. I don't think he's going to hit I'll be right here. You're refusing him because of the gum wrapper. Here we go.
Yeah, you take your flap and have the rest of your product.
What? Fine. But listen, I don't have a jacket.
wandering around.
Yeah, there's one over there on the wall.
Do you have a set of numbers? I'm sort of a.
That's gonna go to town clerk.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question for the audience. So, sorry, what's your name?
Great.
Graham? So Graham's going to start making these phone calls. This is not space in which we need to agree here tonight, you know? How can we have real conversations if we all have to agree? How many of you think, making these phone calls, he's going to find someplace tonight? How many of you think he is? Can I see some hands? About a dozen of you, maybe 20 of you. How many of you think he's not? The majority of the House. Those of you who think he's not, just a couple of you in a sentence, please. Why not?
There aren't any.
There aren't any.
I've had 6 shelters today for women and there weren't any beds.
This woman called 6 shelters for women today, and there weren't any beds.
He's got no shirt on.
Because he has no shirt.
Sorry, no.
Because he has no jacket.
She has to show up to get a real
It's too late.
Because the dude at the front counter doesn't like him, and so because he doesn't like him, nor do the police officers, and nor does the health region, and nor does the education system, and nor does everybody
Right.
else that talks to him.
You're seeing this guy, the character has some kind of a reputation, legitimate or not. And that because of that, barriers go up around him. Yeah.
He's barred at the other shelters.
He's barred at the other shelters. One more up here.
He has to show up to actually know whether there's space.
Right, he can't just do that over the phone. He's got to
No.
show up to know whether
If
there's
it's past 9 o'clock at night, he's not getting in anyway or something. 10
Pardon
o'clock,
me?
if it's past 10 o'clock at night or something, the only place you can go is a DI.
Right, if it's past 10, the only place you can go is
DI or
the
9
DI.
or something. Where do you go?
I don't know if you take out a coat.
We'll give you one.
We get to talk about all of this because you come up with this. Is there anything you want to say before you go? Can I have Miss Cass on the stage, please? Miss Cass. Okay, we're going to very quickly set up for the second play. While this is setting up, there was something I wanted to say off the top, and I didn't, so I'm going to say it now, just so you know. You know, I don't come in to something like this with any kind of script or anything. It isn't my job to tell the participants what to make their plays about. My job is to work with them to help them make the best and clearest plays that we can in 6 days about the things that they feel are the most important inside the issues. I think it's important that you know that it's not directed in that way. That it's not, that this really is a true voice of concern for how things are here in Calgary. And it's been fascinating for me because the culture of how things occur here is really different from Vancouver where I live. It's really different here. And some of those ways are good and some of those ways are not.